This is Learning Activity Sheet in English 1, Quarter 4 Worksheet 2A. So in second week, in week 2, there should be 2A and 2B, but I edited and combined the two and then eliminated some so that it won't be time consuming, and then uh, I observed that all objectives are covered in just one module, so it's not 2A or 2B anymore. Okay, write your name before we begin. Okay, so part 1, the learning skills. So part A, the most essential learning competency, or the MELC. It is about to recognize describing words for people, objects, things, and places like color, shape, size, height, weight, length, distance, and etc. And then the objectives covered, uh, there are 4 in all. So first, identify describing words. So this was discussed already in quarter 3 English. So to relate what will be the next objectives. So it's some sort of review, and then more challenging activities about this. And then another objective, associate describing words for people, objects, things, and places. And then number 3, use words that describe the pictures presented. So now we are going to use the describing words, not just identifying them. And then number 4, or D, use describing words in saying more information about oneself. So using the describing words, now that you can identify the describing words, this is now more an application how you can use them, these describing words, when you talk about yourself. So particularly the family members. Okay, so part 2, introductory concept. In this worksheet, you will find some fun, engaging activities that will help improve your ability in recognizing describing words commonly used for people, objects, things, and places. So what do describing words are? Uh, what are these? I mean, so these are words that tell how person, things, objects, and places look. So you can tell the size, shape. So words that tell sizes, shapes, and colors are describing words. So if you remember this in science, when we talk about materials, so when we tell the properties of materials, so you are already using describing words. So they are also called adjectives. So aside from the term describing words, we can also call it as adjectives. So in some books, they call it also as uh, describing words, adjectives, and then um, I forgot the other term. So later I might mention it. And then on the last part of this module, on this last, we will use describing words to say more about ourselves and the things around us. So the activities, beginning with practice task 1, it's entitled Word Hunt. Directions, write on the blank the describing word used. So for numbers 1 to 5, there are pictures, and then on each picture there is a phrase used. So for number 1, beautiful girl. Number 2, small chair. Number 3, gray skirt. Number 4, round table. And then number 5, big house. So among the phrases used, choose which is the describing word, and then you are to write it on the blank. So make sure it begins with a small letter because it's not a name of a person. So we are just going to have it as a word beginning with small letter. So what is good here, you only have two choices. So for number 1, beautiful girl, which one tells about a person, a thing, or an object? So is it beautiful or girl? So write it on the blank. So that also applies in number 2 until number 5. Pause this video so that you can finish until number 5. And then when you're done, Let's proceed with practice task 2. Describe me. Directions: complete the sentences by choosing the correct describing word in the box. So this time, the describing words are given. So like happy, clean, green, thick, and cold. And then you are to use this, you're going to use this to complete the sentences. So it means what is missing in each sentence is a describing word. So you are to choose from the box only one answer, only once. You're going to use it only once. So we have here 5 words and then also 5 items. So the leaves are black. Write it down, beginning again with a small letter. Number 2, ice cream is blank. And then number 3, Nita is a blank girl. Number 4, the book is blank. And then number 5, the living room is blank. So you can go over to the previous page so that you can make sure that your answers are correctly written. And then when you're done, we now go to practice task 3. It's entitled Tell Me About the Weather. So directions: look at the picture. What can you say about the weather? Write your answer on the space provided. You can say, so you can have you have 2 choices on how to write the sentence. So the weather is blank, period, or it is a blank day, period. So you have only 2 choices, 2 sentences to choose from, and then the blank, you are to tell what kind of weather. When you tell that kind of weather, you are already telling or giving a describing word. Okay, so you look at the weather symbol, so that will be your basis on what kind of weather it is. So after this practice task 3, I hope you won't forget this, because we will also have a topic in science similar to this. Okay, you just don't forget that when you write a sentence, it should begin with a big letter and ends with a period. So a period is already prepared for you. All you have to do is write it properly. If you can remember, when you write a sentence, it begins with a big letter. So number 1, you can choose the weather is blank or it is a blank day. So that also applies for number 2, number 3, number 4, and then number 5. So if you're not sure about the answers, I mean about the spelling, you can ask from the adults. Okay, for the last part, assessment, composed of 2 parts. So part A, directions, and circle the describing word used in the sentence. So number 1, that building is tall, which is a describing word. That building is tall. So if you can remember, describing word, it tells size, shape, color, distance, ano pa, taste, smell, sound, ano pa, you can also give it's also about texture. Next, number 2, the young man helped the lady cross the street. The young man helped the lady cross the street. Number 3, my sister wore a pretty dress. My sister wore a pretty dress. Number 4, the girl lost her little doll. The girl lost her little doll. And then number 5, I have a red bag. I have a red bag. And then for part B, it's entitled My Family. Directions: choose 5 members among your family and say something nice about them. Teacher, we are just 3 in the family, so you can choose anybody to be included in this part B. So follow the lines in writing your answer. So an example is given like my mama is pretty. So you think of your family members. Teacher, ako lang po, baka you would say, teacher, ako lang po ang only child and I have my mom and my dad. Other than that, wala na. So, you can include your pwedeng grandparents or pwedeng cousin, pwedeng aunt or uncle. So, you are to write it in a sentence. So, you can tell, it's like you are telling a story how they look, or you can also include characteristic or ugali. So, try to remember how to write the sentence. It should begin with a big letter at the beginning of the sentence, and it should because you are to tell something about your family member, so you have to end it with a period. So, like the example, my mama is pretty. So, my begins with big M, and then after the sentence, there's a period. So, use the lines. It's like parang blue red blue siya. So 3 lines to use for each sentence. So there are 5 sets. So make sure that you write it legibly, malinaw, na parang hindi binagyo o baka ipasulat naman sa adults. So magiging sa kanila yun na idea. It won't be yours anymore. So this last was prepared by Velma D. Martin and Mary Jean Villavares of DepEd Camsur. So that's it. We're done with English. And for those who will be participating for Friday's online class, so it's an English topic, and then this is related to this last. So it will be about adjectives or describing words. So try not to forget what you answered on these pages, because some parts will be integrated, will be used in the online teaching. So thank you and good day.